Hola Madridistas, welcome to a very special episode of the Let's Be Real podcast where we are going to discuss a lot of open-ended questions from the El Clasico, the Ballond'Or saga, the fans and the club's reactions, plus rumors surrounding Tchouameni's place in the team, and so much more. Joining me today is our MVP for this channel, Farouk, as usual. But before we get into the thick of things, big up our sponsors for this episode, Manscaped, the guys who know how to keep you a smooth operator for this upcoming holiday season. So if you're in the market for a new shampoo or a beard oil or a trimmer or anything else that you might need, head on over to manscaped.com and use code LBR20 for 20% off and free shipping. It'll really help out the channel and help keep this going. So Farouk, do you want to kick things off? Has it been an easy week for you? Have you been staying off of social media? What's going on with you?
I mean, bro, I don't have social media to stay off of, man. So, life is quite. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, when you have such a big drama, like, it doesn't matter even if you're living under a rock, man. Like, it finds a way to get to you. So this is just the thing. Like, it's been quite an interesting week. Like the weekend happened. We get to that later on, and then all of a sudden, Monday happened with the whole big news that Real Madrid is not gonna attend stuff, and then, yeah, all of a sudden, like everyone is posting, like like someone died and someone passed away. Let's R.I.P. rest in peace and shit like that, and in all honesty, like it was a very very shameful reaction, in my opinion, from the club
Mm-hmm.
to decide to not do this or to do that, and it is what it is. And of course, like everyone can have their opinion. Like we all think that Vinicius was the obvious winner, and truly so. But it's not like they gave it to someone on the street. Like it's not like Ademola Lookman was the guy who won the Ballon d'Or. Like it's Rodri who won it, and also like he had a shout anyways about of winning the Ballon d'Or. So yeah, it's okay. And like yeah, like everyone who's going around showing this, doing that. I mean, bro, come on, like the PR machine just did not work this time around. That's just the thing. And honestly, like I think it's a very, very valid point to make that Vinicius Jr. and Jude Bellingham splitted the votes.
Yeah. You actually
This
think
is
so?
the reason. Anyone who was gonna, I think so, because Jude ended up third, not Carvajal. Vinicius and Jude splitted the votes. This is just a point. And you look at it and it's like a very, very, you know, when people talk about, oh, it's robbery and this and that, bro, what robbery is we talking about? West United didn't win the Ballon d'Or after the treble with Inter in 2010. Frank Ribery didn't win the Ballon d'Or after the treble with Bayern Munich in
Lewandowski.
2013. Lewandowski, even Cristiano Ronaldo didn't win the Ballon d'Or because of Luka Modric won the Ballon d'Or in 2018. Like let's not forget, like Thierry Henry never won a Ballon d'Or, never ever. He had 20 plus goals, 20 assists in the Premier League, but still didn't win the Ballon d'Or. You understand? So like it's not like all of a sudden, like this is the first time this is happening in history. No, I think it's just revisionist theories, like we as Real Madrid fans, because let's not forget when Ribery won the treble, we didn't win jack shit, bro. I don't know if you remember. We didn't win jack shit that season, and Ronaldo won the what's it called?
Ballon
Won the Ballon d'Or. Yeah, and then we went on the PR overdrive for Luka Modric to win it in 2018 ahead of Cristiano Ronaldo because he left. So it's not like, of course, as I said, like yeah, we wanted Vini to win. We thought Vini was a deserved winner, and it will have completed that cycle. But it's not like they gave it to like a shitty person on the street,
Yeah, that's
So
true.
like just
I mean, so here's where I see, man. Like, I understand the fans' reactions. Like, only Real Madrid fans, will see the perspective that Vini was so important to this team in order to actually win the La Liga and the Champions League. Because Jude, if you remember, like he actually cooled off on a scoring streak and assist streak later on in the season, and Vini was the main guy. So only we believe that Vini was crucial to that season and he had a good season. The other fans, they're just going to look at his numbers and say, hey, it's nothing special. A lot of players had similar numbers. But yeah, that's where, the disconnect between our fans and other fans come in. But I wanted to ask you this, right? So this is maybe quite out of the ordinary for the club. We usually have a clear idea of who's going to be winning, and we get leaks and whatnot. The club knows, so they know who has to attend, how many players they have to, or if the coach has to attend and whatnot. Because you get leaks and about who's winning, right? And this time, it looks like the rumors were that they actually changed something or something came out in the last minute. And until then, the news was like Vini was gonna win it. It was all Real Madrid was gonna just take away the whole Ballond'Or ceremony, right? Do you think that disconnect led to the club's reaction and the statement?
Actually, like what changed was that, like based on what I read is that like every year they usually have an interview with the Ballon d'Or winner before the event. This way, like of course, if French football is interviewing this person, you know that of course that indicates that he's the winner of the Ballon d'Or. So this year they decided not to do that. They're gonna do that after the event. You know. But like of course Real Madrid had very strong indications that they're, you know, like Vini was going to win the stuff. And then based on what I also read again, it was like they were informed that Man City were aware that Rodri had won the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't Man City who informed Real Madrid directly, but it was like an intermediary who informed them that okay, like Man City have gotten, you know, credible news that Rodri wins the Ballon d'Or. And then of course like Real Madrid you know, renegated on that, and also because of the influence, or rather the participation of UEFA in this. You know, in the past we had, you know, FIFA, you know, and now like UEFA is the one who is participating with French football, you know, to award the Ballon d'Or. So like of course we know how well documented the rivalry between Real Madrid and UEFA is. So I feel like that, you know, joins together, just they felt like it's. And also they made a very valid point that if there is a criteria that highlights Rodri being, you know, the winner of this, although it's not just that straightforward, because like people vote, like it's not like, you know, Ballon d'Or has a criteria that it gives to the voters. The voters vote out of their own free will and they create their criteria in their mind, you know. So like that idea that okay, like if Rodri's influence, you know, for Spain and for his team, you know, led to him being selected, like Carvajal also won the title, won the UCL, and also won that same European title, you know, being a very, very key figure for that as well, you know. So
I
they
mean,
felt that
the
way, but
argument against that
I
is just people just don't value defenders enough, man. And you can understand that Carvajal why he didn't win it. But the argument is there for Lautaro, right? He won the Copa America. He was crucial there. He won pretty much everything there is to win in Serie A. But then there is the Serie A tax. Do you think it's just because he plays in Serie A that he didn't even get into the top five?
definitely, I think definitely Lautaro plays for any other team except for a team in Italy. He gets in, not even the top five. I think he gets in the top three. He gets a very strong shout because like last year there was no more influential player in the whole of the Italian league. You know, he goes to the Coppa and he, you know, he scores 6 goals. I think 5 goals, 6 goals, wins the top, you know, Golden Boot, and wins the tournament as well. So I think definitely if he had played for a team in, you know, the top two, top three leagues, you know, outside of Italy, I felt like, you know, he would have had a very, very strong shout to eventually, you know, have won the Ballon d'Or. But again, you know, we're here talking about what is and what is not, but we need to highlight the fact that, yeah, Rodri is, you know, a credible winner. It's not like he won out of the blue or anything like that. Like it is, you know, important to highlight that as well. Yeah, of course, like Vini lost it. I hope that, you know, like Vini uses this as a fire to you know to do better. But at least one thing that we have seen from them is that they've shown that okay, yeah. I mean, Cristiano was going to Ballon d'Ors for 4 straight seasons, bro, and he was clapping for Messi, bro. What the? I mean, this is Cristiano we're talking about for
Yeah.
4 straight years, 4 straight years, and then he won 3 in 4 years, and then he won 3 in 4 years, bro. Like that's the thing, like you know, like it's this is something that's I don't know. I feel like it's crucial, like with what Real Madrid has shown, like in support of Vinicius Junior, lack thereof, how why they took the decision. They have basically told him that you can be the spoiled child that you have been showing that you are, because this is what we've seen, like both on the pitch. Vini is always getting yellow cards. Why did he miss the crucial match where Brazil got eliminated? Because he got 2 yellow cards in the group stage. And let's not forget, one of them was for, you know, decent, and the other one was a tackle.
Yeah.
You understand? So basically, what Real Madrid now is saying that they're condoning, or rather even enhancing and supporting such a behavior. When I'm repeating myself, Cristiano Ronaldo, you know, the GOAT for us Real Madrid fans, for 4 straight years, he was there clapping for. He goes, his suits, his earrings, or whatever, new haircut, whatever. And he goes every year continuously for 4 years.
Yeah, man. Like, and you have to take a character into account as well. Like, he's the guy who's super egotistic. He hates when he doesn't win everything.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Thank you for the perfect, you know, point there. This is the point. This is Cristiano, basically the man where you search on ChatGPT what is ego, the picture of Cristiano shows up, bro.
Yep.
I don't know, man. It's quite unfortunate. Like I just feel like, you know, Sunait's statement actually was what came to my mind, honestly, because Sunait has always been the person that's always shouted the fact that this team doesn't have leaders.
Yep.
There are no leaders in this team. Like, we have players, okay, a player has a captain and band and what is not. But then you keep seeing everyone posting, even new guy like Arda Güler also has a picture of Vinicius Junior on Instagram, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, what the hell?
Karim
What
Benzema,
the
even
hell?
Cristiano's YouTube channel put out support for Vini. But why do you think that is, man? Like, I understand if current teammates support, and then say, hey, you'll win it next year, so don't worry about it. But if former players are coming out and saying, like, why is this the case? Let's actually bring the discussion here, right? Compare the last 10 years. Is this actually the worst Ballond'Or winner in the last 10 years?
Yes, without doubt. But again, God, I don't, we're sounding like, sore losers when we see this. But honestly, even if Vinicius had won it, this is like the worst Ballon d'Or in the last, I
100%.
don't know, man. Yeah. I don't, like, since I started watching football, this is the worst Ballon d'Or, basically.
Yep. I agree. But yeah, man, the other thing that came into mind that could maybe explain it was maybe is the club trying to deflect attention away from the Clasico, that whole loss and focus on the Ballon d'Or. Is the PR machine just uh, going 100%?
I mean, bro, if that was a plan, it has worked 100%. It has worked 1,000,000% because we keep seeing continuously rhetorics. People are talking about, oh, Vini is winning, Vini is not winning. Oh, Vini is a good player, but he's a bad person. Oh, Vini is this. He lost because it was racism because it is. This is all the thing. Like right now, the whole narrative around Real Madrid, is about the fact that, okay, yeah, you didn't go to the Ballon d'Or, you had the entourage of 50 people who were going to go, and then you canceled everything in the last minute and saying that you're disrespected and this and that. So it's worked, bro. I mean, it's definitely worked. Everyone is talking about that when we had atrocious, and I think atrocious is even very unkind, we had an atrocious Clasico.
Yep. One of the worst in recent years
It's,
that I can remember. Maybe the
I mean,
final drubbing was worst, but this looking at the form of the team, we have no answers. It's just rock bottom, man.
actually, that's the thing, Jacob, right? Like, if I'm not wrong, this is the second Clasico in 3 years at the Bernabeu, which finished 4-0, right?
Yeah. But it honestly
Two
feels like the
seasons,
worst one, though.
2 seasons ago, it was 4-0. Again, Carlo had a plan that he could not execute.
Yeah.
And weekend, again, it was failed 4-0. Again, Carlo had a plan that he could not execute. And when I come to this platform and say that Carlo is no longer the guy for plans, people say I'm, being disrespectful. He had two plans against Xavi's Barcelona, against Flick's Barcelona. This is I think everyone know. I don't know if everyone could highlight that, but at least for me, I could see that, okay, the team actually had a plan in that game. We actually had a plan in the game against Barcelona at the Bernabeu, but execution was zero.
Yep.
Execution was zero. Bro, did you see the space between that Casado had to pass the ball for Lewandowski to go on to? Bro.
Shit, man. We did not see that in the first half, though. Like, is it just one change? De Jong coming in that absolutely changed the game.
No, I think they highlighted even, I think, what's he called? Yamal mentioned this, like, Real Madrid was tired. Real Madrid looked tired, and we were tired. Definitely, like, you could see that. He said they were tired and we played harder. That's just the thing.
Yeah.
So this is the issue I have, like, honestly, Jacob. Like, again, it's gonna be like, yeah, it's Farouk again whining about the coach and the coaching staff. The reason why Barcelona is able to play that high line is because, like, Hansi Flick has drilled this into them that it has become second nature to them.
Yeah. Rumor has
For
it that they have two coaches just for practicing offsides.
Okay, thank you, sir. That goes there. So, like, now the point now becomes, for us, we wake up on Friday or on Thursday and decide, okay, let's train the high line today and we're going to implement it on Saturday. Then you have people who have been doing this for 4 months, 5 months.
Yeah.
You understand? So, like, there's obviously going to be a difference. Like, the high line is a very risky game to play. It's a very risky game to play. We literally just sat there with Omar, for the preview, saying that, oh, the speed of Vinicius Junior and Kylian Mbappe is going to, kill the shit out of you guys. For the second goal, Kylian Mbappe scored. 3 people were offside. Jude Bellingham, Vinicius Junior, and Kylian Mbappe. What the fuck, bro? How is that even possible?
I can understand, Jude getting caught offside. Like he isn't the fastest guy. He needs to absolutely time his run perfectly. But Mbappe and Vini, they don't need to do that. They can just sit back, observe it, just make up the pace, man. And
Bro, you playing off that last defender, it's an art. You need to understand it, bro. Why was people in Zagi always offside? Because there was no VAR, he was able to score a lot of goals. Bro, like playing off that line is something that requires a lot and lot of of practice.
yeah,
You need to know when to time that run, when to because also like there was an image actually, basically a mirror image of what happened with Kylian Mbappe, and like they were showing it in the game against Barcelona last year with Rodrigo, where he squared the ball to Vini to score in the Super Cup. I don't know if you remember that.
I do. Yeah,
It was exactly the same scene. I don't know if you saw the picture. It was exactly the same scene. But now, what happened with Rodrigo was that he made not a straight vertical run, but rather a diagonal run, which basically made it like delayed the offside. You're running, but because you're not running straight,
yeah.
you understand,
Those are
like you're offside.
fundamentals for forwards. And if Kylian hasn't learned it this far, he's never gonna learn, right?
I mean, the point is this: whether we like it or not, it's not about the fundamentals of forward. Kylian Mbappe is arguably the best forward that exists on the planet right now. So the issue is not about like learning or not learning. In my opinion, the issue is about that even you, Jacob, when you change, you go to a new job right now, you still need time to adapt. And when there is no adaptation, and they're just letting you freelance or free flow, whatever it is, you're just gonna be in no man's land.
Yeah, there's always a point where there's onboarding. You train in sessions. Okay, this is the game plan we're gonna execute. This is gonna be the overall pattern for the season, except for a few teams. So we don't have that. It's just like just pass the ball to Vini and Mbappe. Have some combinations, just score a goal. That's all I'm seeing in training. There's nothing else going on.
I don't know, man. Like honestly, it's not the best in my opinion. It's not the
So
okay. Yeah, Kylian Mbappe.
what you're like basically
You
saying
know,
is, it's the coach's fault, just our training regimen. We're not really having a system or any plan, and that's caused Mbappe to, perform like this, and the whole team as well.
and this is just what I'm saying, man. Like it's you can just sit here and be like, okay, yeah, like the players are these or the players are that. Of course, like yeah, it's offside. But the point is, why do you think people plan on offside traps? Because of course, you know that when the team, what's it called, like you play off of the last man, and you need to understand who's gonna make the pass, how is he gonna make the pass, and stuff like this. But our team doesn't have that. We just trained on Thursday and played on Saturdays. And what do you expect? This is a team that has been doing this for the past how long? Even with Xavi, they were playing like this, a bit not to this extreme at least. And our flicks came in like they fine-tuned it and they have something. So it's not just yeah, it's not just about like the players or what is and what is not. Like I think the coaching staff has to take a lot of blame, significant portion of it.
Yeah, gotta agree. The only argument that I could see here is, we were missing a lot of players. That's the truth, right? We're missing Rodrigo, our main man who makes this front line try to work at least at a decent level. And we were missing our fullbacks. That meant that, Bellingham's playing out of position. Valverde is playing out of position. The only guy in the midfield who was actually playing in the position was Tchouameni. Everyone else was just covering up for our fullbacks. And you just saw the goals that we conceded, right? It's all down to positioning of the fullbacks, and both of us are centre backs for some reason stepping up together instead of one guy staying back. Fucking Lucas Vasquez is the last man for one of the goals.
Yeah. I remember that, man. It's I think no, it wasn't for the Yamal goal. I think it was for the
Rafinha goal.
Rafinha. Exactly, it was for the Rafinha goal. It was for the Rafinha goal. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting how you highlighted that. Of course, like players are playing out of position and this and that and this and that. Like I mean, talk about this, but let's not forget, like it's not like Barcelona also are playing with we're playing with full strength as well. So I just think it's like highlighting the fact that like this person is missing or that person is missing. It's just it's just creating excuse, like giving platform to the players or to the coaches to be like, oh, this is that or this. I mean, if you ask the team for the balance that they're talking about, maybe most likely they remove one attacker anyways and to put two attackers and have four midfielders on the pitch so that they can create that balance in any way. So like maybe Rodrigo wouldn't have played. Who knows? He would have been an option off the bench. Who knows?
Yeah.
So these are the things like and yeah, of course we can try to pinpoint this and that, but eventually like it's just a fault that like of course yeah the players are responsible, but just for me my rhetoric always has been and continues to be the fact that like this is just on the coaching staff one. this is on the coaching staff. And I don't know, like, till when will this continue? Of course, like this is Carlo Ancelotti we're talking about. The man can still whip magic out and do stuff, but the issue always is and continues to remain the fact that, yeah, we just continue to play.
Absolutely, man. I agree. Carlo has to take blame for whatever's happened this season so far. We won't know what this team looks like for the rest of the season, but at least so far, it's all. I think it's mostly down to Carlo and his tactics and his rigidity with using players in the wrong way.
I mean, I don't know about using players because like one thing they always say about Carlo is that he gives people, like what's it called, the platform to go and perform the best they can. But I think not just about using the players the wrong way, but rather like
Come on, man.
not
Like,
being able to.
I'm looking at this season. Okay, last season, every single player, they were at the right position. He was getting the best out of the team. This season, look at where Bellingham is playing. Look at where Valverde is playing. When it's not utilizing their strength, those are the two best players on our team right now.
Yeah, I know, but the point is like, how do you want him to play Jude Bellingham though? Like he literally got a striker in the summer. So the question is like, do you keep playing Jude at the tip of the diamond, and what do you do with Kylian Mbappe?
I think serious questions has to be asked. Like, do we really need to continue playing him as an ST? Why can't we move him out wide? Why can't we keep the same formation from last season? Why doesn't he make changes when things are not going well? Why doesn't he try new things? He just seems to stick with the same plan.
Yeah, I mean the plan is just like put the best players you have in the first 11, and like hope that they make stuff happen. So this is just a thing. But in my opinion, I do think like Jude has been okay. I take away the goal scoring, but I feel like Jude has been, in my opinion, like the point is like I don't expect Jude to score the same amount of goals he scored last year. This is basically impossible. Like it's not doable. It's a one-time thing. Like Jude is not a goal scorer. Or rather, Jude was not a goal scorer before he joined. Of course, like he scored quite a number of goals. But again, I just think the addition of Kylian Mbappe, of course, brings about a loss in balance. Counter that balance loss, you play Jude a bit deeper, so and his physicality provide some sense of chill in midfield. And of course, it hasn't worked so far because, like, yeah, still we're still unconvincing in almost every fancy. It's absolutely, and I don't know. I just feel like again Rudiger's form has dropped off as well because like last year he was like almost infallible.
Yeah,
Like
massively.
I know for the last 2 years, basically, he was like, like Iron Man, I would say. And I just feel like, him returning back to a lesser version of that also is reflecting also. And of course,
Man, Farouk, I think your mic is breaking up a bit. Can you check it?
my mic is breaking up a bit.
Yeah, it
Or
just
the
comes
inter-
in spurts, and then you just go silent. It doesn't pick up your voice. I don't see, since we're on Google Meet, doesn't really show the audio graph well.
the graph, right? The
Yeah,
voice.
I don't know.
Uh,
I think it's fine for now. But I think you made a good point, right? This defense as a whole, it just looks structureless. Especially, we have to remember, like Militao wasn't there last season. We were playing with very two compatible center backs, Nacho and Rudiger. Those guys absolutely were complementary. The fullbacks were on top form. Rohal was one of our best players. Mendy was pretty much really good on that left hand side, right? Blocking out every single attack. But he isn't that this season. Both Militao and Rudiger, they push up at the same time. They don't seem to have a lot of communication between them, especially in aerial balls. We still, even though they're giants, we still seem to let in so many easy chances for the opponents. It's just not working out, man, in defense. So that's the major question, right? The question that came out of the Clasico. Do we actually need to change up our whole back line? Or get some reinforcements in this winter, or maybe in this coming summer at the latest.
Yeah, man. I mean, reinforcement is needed, bro. Whether we like it or not, definitely, reinforcement is definitely needed. And but when the question now becomes like, who do you look for? When do you look for them? As well, because the point, I think the team also is waiting to see how
Alabaster.
what happens with David Alaba as well. So, but the point is, when we look at this, like take out Militao, like all these are defenders who are like 30 plus. So it's not like anyways like they're young players, like they're like spring chickens, and you can still get the next 5 years out of them. So the question now becomes like, okay, what's the planning for the next phase? Do you look for a young player like we had with Leniero in the summer, who eventually joined a different team, or do you look for like an established player? I don't know, like Mo has always been a huge fan of Bastoni as well, like, or do you look at a player like Bastoni and think like could be something, or you look at even in, I mean, there are a lot of good defenders, like you go to the Premier League and you look at players like William Saliba as well, and you try to entice them and see what's going to be like. Of course, these players are not going to come cheap, but then we know what Real Madrid's strategy has been over the past couple of years. Look for an opportunity in the market. If there's a 1-year contract, 2 years about to expire, you swoop in who the player, and something like that could be these things. But right now, honestly, I just feel like first and foremost we need to find internal solutions, because right now there's nothing we can do. In the long term, yeah, there is. Okay, in the long term we can talk about the market and everything, but right now we know that unless something drastic happens, Real Madrid wouldn't even do any business in the winter. We know this. Like traditionally, Real Madrid haven't been a winter, transfer market team as well. So like right now, basically, in an ideal situation, Real Madrid wouldn't do anything till the summer of next year.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, but then, so right now we need to find internal solutions, and this is where the problem comes. Is Carlo and his coaching staff good enough to actually find those internal solutions? This is the question.
Man, when talking about internal solutions, are you talking about personnel, different people playing, or just the system?
The system, of course. Like, I mean, as you've rightly said, like the point is that you need a system that that, I don't know, supports, or rather a system that brings out, that highlights the greatness of each player, the strengths of each players, And right now we're not getting that in one way or another. Like, okay, Vini is doing some things, but we can see Kylian Mbappe is not able to do anything. This, so it's a bit of mix and match. Right now we're even seeing like what's he called, Mendy being the worst version of Mendy we've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Because right now, like literally everyone just comes and Mendy is just out of it.
He's just
Literally everyone comes and Mendy is out of it.
To be fair, like okay, he used to be able to handle it one-on-one, any single one-on-one. We don't need to send him support, right? He had fucking Cruz and he still could handle any top striker on his day. But that's just not realistic. Maybe he has regressed. Maybe he'll have an uptick in form. We don't know. But like you said, we just have to find internal solutions, give him more support. Because we certainly won't be trusting Fran Garcia for the rest of the season.
Exactly. This is just the point right now. So like, there is a huge drop with Fran, but the one thing we know is that like Ferland Mendy was always that rock. Of course, we don't get any offensive output from him, but eventually the significant defensive output he gave was kind of masking that. But right now, neither of them is working anymore. So this is the thing. Neither of them is working now. So you question, okay, like, is this enough? Like, till when is this enough? So this are the things. So again, like it's just like the team hasn't been performing to what the level we expected. And of course, like everyone's going to talk about the departure of Toni Kroos, but bro, like it's not Toni Kroos it's not the absence of Toni Kroos that's allowing to what's he called, Lewandowski, to get into two 6-foot defenders and they're not even aware that he was there.
He had at least 10 yards in between both of them.
Exactly, man. They were not even aware he was there. It's not, it's not the absence of Toni Kroos that allowed Casado to pass the ball, and literally Lewandowski had the whole day and week to decide what the fuck he wanted to do with the ball. So this is the thing. Like, of course we can highlight the absence of the departure of Toni Kroos and Altero, but you can't just go there and pinpoint to that one thing and be like, okay, this is the whole reason why it's not working. Just honestly, I think like the coaching staff needs to take a lot of responsibility. I'm sorry, like everyone talks about the fact that Kylian Mbappe had 8 offsides or 9 offsides or 10 offsides. I really do not care. The coaching staff needs to take a lot of responsibility for what's happening. I mean, and it's just like, it's not okay. Yeah, we talk with Omar and everything, and like we are very optimistic about the game at the Bernabeu and what is not. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, considering what the result is, it's actually not. It's been coming. It's not something like out of the blue. It's not like something that happened. It's not an anomaly in the season. It matches. When you look at the performance. Okay, maybe the scoreline, no, but when you look at the performance we've had this season, it's on par with everything we've seen so far. So it's just been, yeah, honestly, like it's been really, really lame. I mean, we're really fortunate that we're playing AC Milan. Also, they have a new coach, with Francesca, and like he's still figuring out his shit out. So like, yeah, it's not too much of a of a challenge. I hope, at least when they come to the Bernabeu. Well, otherwise, like it would have been a really grim week. Imagine if we like the trip to Anfield was, this week, with how high flying Liverpool. I don't think Liverpool are that much of a good team in my opinion, honestly.
Mhm.
But with how high they're flying and how shitty we are, bro, like it would have just been, imagine you started last weekend losing at the Clasico, losing the Ballond'Or, and then losing at Anfield, bro. Like it would have been, a whole nightmare or massacre basically. But yeah, it's this team needs to answer a lot of questions, man. Honestly, like there's some players who needs to step up, and I'm gonna call them, that yeah, Kylian Mbappe definitely needs to step up. Of course, what's it called? Tchouameni definitely needs to step up. Like Vini needs to do more. The center backs need to step up. Mendy needs to recover that defensive solidity that's there. All these players needs to step up. But first and foremost, it starts and ends with the coaching staff.
100%. We do have a few comments here. So Hassan says we are here. Sunit says big up the panel. Tide is in net queues. I don't know how we just let them play through us. I mean, this Barcelona side, like it or not, man, they have the best front line in the world right now. And if we are tired, even an inch, if we give it to them, they're gonna capitalize on that.
I agree with you, man. Like you cannot just discard tiredness as not an. In my opinion, at least, I feel like football, like at least at the highest level, is a game of margins. As you said, you give them an inch, you give them a percent, they're gonna literally run away with it.
Absolutely. Ashik is here as well. He says Champions League twice to Vini. Both times Rodri's shitty dismantled on the way, but Rodri is Mickey Mouse. This whole Mickey Mouse shit is over time. Time to use the Mickey Mouse insult as a fuel to turn the season around and rip through Europe and Spain.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like honestly, you wonder. You hope that at least they use this as a motivation. To turn things around. To push even harder and further. But I just feel like the way we have created this narrative. It's. I feel like it's quite. At least for me, it was quite unexpected. I didn't. I had not foreseen this. Yeah, Vini was a deserved winner. Like Vini was the person who was supposed to win. He was the front runner. Like we all expected that to happen, but it did not happen. But that doesn't mean like Rodri is not a deserved winner as well. And yeah, I think Rodri win is a win for casual football fans. Because you see that like it's not there. Because the reason why I feel like, as you were saying earlier, like a lot of people are like showing their support for Vini is because like Vini is the reason why you go to the games. Right?
Yeah.
But like Rodri is the reason why Man City is winning. You get the point. So it doesn't matter if you win or lose. Like Vini you get your money back when you go to watch Vini because he excites. He creates excitement. So this is the people. This is the person that people want to go and watch. So this is. So this is just the thing. Like with all due respect to Rodri, man, I'm not gonna go and pay to watch Rodri. With all due respect, like, yeah, he's a phenomenal footballer. He's good, he's that. But bro, I'm not going there to pay to watch Rodri, man. But Vini is, I don't know, man. I don't think there is a player who is more exciting and more decisive than Vinicius Junior in world football right now. Because when you look at, people with better numbers, the, Haalands and Harry Kanes, like, they do not create that much excitement.
Yeah.
They're more decisive, but they're not as equally exciting. You understand? But for Vini, he's quite exciting and also he's decisive as well. So this is just the thing.
Yeah, man. Ashik has an interesting question for you. The Ballond'Or was a robbery, but do you think Vini would rather have a Ballond'Or or 2 Champions League titles and 2 La Liga titles?
Based on what I've seen from them, I think he would rather have the Ballond'Or than any of this. I don't know. This is just the vibe I get. Like, if you ask me, like, Cristiano was the most, individualistic, as we said, egoistic person, but Cristiano would never mess with these titles. He will definitely win the Champions League over the Ballond'Or or whatever it is,
100%.
But based on what I have seen from Vini across and Real Madrid as a whole from the last 3, 4, 5 years, it seems like, yeah, like they would have taken the Ballond'Or over any other team title. It's strange and crazy, honestly. I don't know. I think maybe there must have been something more. Maybe hopefully like we get more insight into it. Because like why would they all of a sudden just be like, Ancelotti was voted coach of the year. Real Madrid was voted team of the year. Like, why would they just up and run?
I would understand if Vini didn't make it to the show. It's up to it's up to individual preference, right? At the end of the day, but the whole team, Fiorentino not being
exactly.
there,
By the way, do you know if they have the like UEFA Player of the Year thingy as well?
I don't think so. I think this time they combined, right? There was something called a golden foot, which Lautaro won. I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay. So it's like this year it's not the UEFA Ballond'Or then. So it's not UEFA Player of the Year or
Yeah, it's combined as one award this year. There's no best.
so there is no UEFA Player of the Year. So like then we have, but we still have FIFA the best player of the year then.
Yeah, that
right?
might be there. Yeah, UEFA and Ballond'Or, France football, they combine together to create this award. So there might still be the best. I'm not sure.
Okay. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Controversial.
Yeah. I mean, for the best, maybe Vini can eventually get stuff. But anyways, I thought maybe like because I was like, kind of trying to remember because they generally like they award the UEFA Player of the Year during the draws for the Champions League. So I was trying to remember like who won that. Well, like since that wasn't also done, so
yeah,
it's sad.
If it's
I
up
can
to
understand,
FIFA, the best, they're gonna really prioritize international competitions, and I don't think Vini can win it again if it's not for the Ballon d'Or.
Honestly, I don't know, man. Honestly, it's quite. But I know it's disappointing. It's sad and etc. But I do hope like as Ashik was mentioning, which like the guys take it up and use it as fuel for for as extra motivation to literally turn this shit around because like yeah, I don't know, man. Because I feel like this game we might look at it and be like yeah, this was the game where shit happened, But yeah.
Yep, absolutely. I guess the last thing on our agenda for today, the Tchouameni situation. Relevo broke out that the team is actually looking to sell him on, move him on next season if we get a good offer. I mean, do you agree with that, man? Like, I know he's been looking like a shadow of himself from last season. The team is not helping him, but he has to take some blame, right? Do you think it's realistic that we actually move him on? It's not like this hasn't been on some of the fans' minds at all this season.
I mean, if the rumors about what's he called, Rodri are true, then of course, like there's nothing to do. Like Rodri is eventually a better player than Tchouameni. But I do think it's too early to talk about that because like he could literally go on to have a banger of a season, and yeah, you don't turn around and sell him. It's just how many games into the season? 12 games, 13 games. So the season has like 40, 50 games. If everything goes well. So I do think like, okay, yeah, we need a different profile of a midfielder because I saw in the chat, which was a very, very good point by Mo that a lot of these players have too many similar profiles.
Yep.
The best attribute of all four players is their physicality and athleticism. You understand? But like that incisiveness, the ability to pick out passes actually is lacking from a lot of these players. Like, okay, it's there, but it's not at the elite level. You understand? Like, it's not at the elite of the elite level. So maybe the team needs a different profile of a midfielder. And because of that, you need to create a space. But I do feel like what space are you creating already? Like, we do not have any other midfielder. The other midfielder we have is Dani Ceballos, and he's deadwood. Luka Modric, I think also, okay, he's not deadwood, but like you're assuming that he's going to retire at the end of the season or something, or he's going to leave at the end of the season or something like that. So, there is space there already. You don't need to make space. So I do think, throwing out or rather selling off Tchouameni, unless of course if you have like an astronomical offer, of course, then yeah, that makes sense. But other than that, I don't think it's too logical to sell Tchouameni right now. I just feel like he still needs to be given that time to find stuff out.
Yeah, even if he isn't the player that we want him to be compared to Bellingham or Valverde, he's still going to be a really good squad player. He can cover a lot of spaces. He can play right back maybe some games. He can play center back for sure. He's such a valuable player. I don't think we should be moving him on, even if
But I think that's the point you're making. That like in the report or rather in the news was that like like they were saying that he wasn't a good enough center back, and also like he's underwhelming as a midfielder. So this is the thing. Like if he was actually stepping up as a center back, maybe they might consider him like long term in that position. But because like it's not up to the standard that they want as well. So there's also a bit of a drawback from that. But just mention as well like the season is too early. Let's not forget like he had an injury. He came back and he's trying to eventually build back to that rhythm. The team right now is in shambles. Let's everyone starts to play well and then let's see if he remains that weak link. But of course, definitely he needs to step up. he definitely needs to step up. But should it be on the chopping board because of just this 13 games into the season? I definitely think not.
100%, man. I totally agree. Ashik has a comment. He says the current generation of fans and media are destroying the game by putting more weight on the individual Mickey Mouse trophy over the collective when the game is about the collective. I think we're just scoping, man. Like just this last week, we don't have a lot to celebrate. The team is not looking good. We just came over 4-0. We needed a good distraction, and all of our fans, we were looking forward to winning it, to take at least one win from these last few games, right? That was going to be our feel good factor, and that just went away, and then people just lost it.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Like, I mean, also like, I get the point that Ashik is making. It's definitely right now like a lot of focus has been put on an individual trophy ahead of what the team is, and right now it's making. Yeah, we're out there looking like Real Madrid is like I don't know, Wrexham, and they're playing in the third division or some shit like that. Nah, like we we are like the defending champions in Europe and in Spain as also like yeah, there is that, but as you said as well, because it's you're coming off of a bad game, there is no other game next, there's no midweek fixture, so basically there was supposed to be a whole 1 week area, and there's nothing. Of course, like people are gonna fill out the news, and you can see like random people that you never even heard of are like literally now making podcasts about, oh, they voted for this person over that person, so like it's just filling the vacuum. And it's Real Madrid, the biggest club in the world, man. Like if this kind of thing happens, people will just try to milk it as much as they can.
Absolutely.
Even on the Athletic, I think I have seen 4 or 5 articles in the space of how many days when they literally write just
Bro,
one
it's not
article.
just
1
articles.
week
They
for
have
Real
like
Madrid.
45-minute videos talking about the whole thing.
So this is just the thing, man. Like it's absolutely crazy, like how. So, but as I say, like it's Real Madrid, man, the biggest club in the world. You milk it, absolutely milk it.
100%. Yeah, man, let's slowly wind this out. I guess, we talked about the deficiencies of coaching staff and so on, but we still don't have any answers, right? If you could change maybe one thing, or if you want to see something in the next few matches that Carlo needs to try, or you want to see get tried, what would it be?
I would say play Kylian Mbappe off the left and let Vini be the central man.
Bold choice.
Yeah, man. And
how about the midfield? It
and
stays the
I
same.
would
We're still playing Rodrigo.
that's what I was gonna say. Like I would actually try. I will try Arda Güler and see, man. I would try Arda Güler and see. Honestly, I would try Arda Güler and see, because right now, like there is that creativity is absolutely lacking. That creativity is absolutely lacking. So I will try Arda Güler and see. I don't know. Like one mind also say maybe Brahim Diaz can be, but the problem is that like Brahim also, is not a midfielder naturally, So again, it goes back to what you're saying about, trying to force, players into positions that doesn't suit them. So like so the team already is filled up with this, so we don't need to add, another, square peg and round holes, But I would think maybe Arda maybe can be a solution somehow. But like, just right now, I think the biggest thing I would try right now, and it's considering like Rodrigo is injured, is like just swap Vinicius and Kylian Mbappe.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I really want to see that as well. I was thinking maybe when Rodrigo is back, I was thinking, or if he's not back, just move Bellingham back to CAM and then ask Mbappe to defend. Or if he doesn't defend, just replace him with Rodrigo, depending on the game state, right? I just want to see a front two, Mbappe on the right, Vini on the left. Same that we had last season, go back to basics. Obviously, we're going to be missing Toni Kroos and the fullbacks, but it's something that's been known to work, right? Especially in La Liga. We've been having decent success with that. So just go back to basics. That's my opinion. Like, what do you think?
I mean, the point is like, I just feel like, yeah, it's easy to see that, but we cannot understand like we always have to remember the amount of investment that the club has made into, Kylian Mbappe. So like they have to make this work.
Yeah, bro, like,
they wouldn't.
What I'm trying to say is like, we don't need to make him work as a striker, right? It's not that. We can try to make him play on the right or on the left. Vinny and them, he can swap just like they did last season. I just don't think he should be, since the team is performing good, we need to get back to basics. We need to play to the strengths of the players, and the strength of Mbappe is not playing as a reference point, right? We need to have him in some other role, and the only role that we can fit him right now is the right wing.
The right wing, man, that's crazy. Yeah, it's a really, really difficult problem to solve. I get what you're saying, but like, man, I just don't think it's that
simple. It's not simple at all.
Yeah, man, it's a really, really complicated problem, honestly. So, but then you have Carlo on the bench, and the complexity even gets more complex, bro.
Yeah.
So,
Ashik has some
but
ideas as well. He says, don't forget Dani Ceballos as a starter.
fucking hell, bro. Yeah, I mean, the point is the way we are going these days, like maybe Dani Ceballos will eventually, I don't know, play an important role because that's the thing. Like, if there is anything, Dani Ceballos and of course Luka Modric are the midfielders who are different to the four midfielders that we have.
100%. Ashik
You
says,
understand? So
this is a related point, right? He says, correct me if I'm wrong, but something tells me that Jude can emulate a Cruz-esque style of play. Do you think he can?
I don't think so.
Ceballos is like way more suited for that role, right?
Exactly. I don't think Jude can do that. I don't think Jude can do that. Of course, like players are evolving. Jude is very young, but like of course, like they are just things that I definitely do not. I think the thing maybe to build on Ashik's point is rather than emulate, rather than replace Cruz or like emulate Cruz, as you were saying, I think like they can offer something different, but they have to develop into this.
Yep.
You understand? They have to develop into this. They can offer something different, but they have to develop into this. Because right now, when you look at it, like even the midfielders aren't making those diagonals. Okay, like forget about setting the tempo and anything, but like hitting the ball into space for people to run into. Like even the midfielders aren't doing that.
Yep.
You understand? So like this is, for instance, this is something that maybe someone can build into or something like that. Like they have to try this kind of stuff. Like, but emulating Cruz is going to be difficult, and I don't think Jude. I think Jude is he's a really different kind of player to what Toni Kroos was. But as you said, yeah, I think Dani Ceballos maybe might be something that might be able to do that. But again, yeah, man, it's Dani Ceballos, so you don't
depend on him for the whole season, for sure.
It's not even that, like one day he's really good, the next day like he's playing like shit again, so that's the thing.
Yeah, losing the ball, putting on already in danger defense.
More exactly, that's just the thing.
Yeah, man, but looks clear. There's no easy solution. It's all up to Carlo. If we are able to pull something off the season, we can only hope, because we can't hope for Fiorentino bringing someone in the transfer window in winter. I just don't see it happening. It's all up to Carlo. He's the only man that can save the season.
Yeah, I mean, unless, as I repeat, like unless something drastic happens with the whole David Alaba situation, that's the only way I see like we get a new centre back. Otherwise, or like a new player maybe might be a centre back or a full back or whatever. But otherwise, I just don't see it happening.
100%. And last, before we go, Ashik also, yeah, this is an important point. He says, don't forget to give the club a big shout out for their charitable gestures towards Valencia and their club, the same club that hates us and our players.
That's very true, actually. Like, yeah, we missed the point, when we talk about, football, which basically is, the least important, the most important of, least important things. This is what football is. But like, yeah, real life still happens outside the, we need to like, extend our sympathies, to the people of Valencia and the people of Spain as a whole, like, yeah, rivalry ends, with the four lines in the pitch, outside the pitch, we're just human beings, and we have to, sympathize with these people, and, we wish them a quick recovery, and hopefully, they can get back on their feet as soon as possible.
Absolutely. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us, Ashik, Hassan, Sunaid, and all of you guys listening over at the audio platforms. We're going to be having the Milan preview soon. We don't know the date exactly, but we're going to be scheduling it. Hopefully, we have a guest as well. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, this conversation has been a bit of therapy for all of the Real Madrid fans, especially the ones who have been looking forward to, winning the Ballond'Or since last season. And yeah, last but not the least, give this video a big thumbs up and a like if you really liked. And if you're not subscribed yet, you do subscribe. And our socials are down in the description below if you want to check that out. And until next time, folks, Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid.